So today we're talking about introduction to management, and this is chapter 1, managers and entrepreneurs. And this is the chapter objectives. Chapter objectives, we're going to define the idea of term management. We will explain the significance of effectiveness and efficiency. Do you guys know what is effectiveness and how is that different than efficiency?
Yeah.
What they say is that managers, when they wake up in the morning, everything they do is about effectiveness and efficiency. How can I make effective plan? How can I make it efficient? Do you know the difference between effective and efficient?
Yeah.
Effective is that you get it. Do you see? And efficient, you don't waste a lot of money while you're getting it. Do you see? So effectiveness that you reach the goal and you reach the end, and efficiency is on your way to the end. You're not wasting your resources. Do you see? So, if we want to manage this class, we want to be effective, so we get the right people who do the right jobs. And at the same time, we want to be efficient. We don't want to hire, people that we don't need to hire. We don't have to spend the time that we don't have to spend. We don't want to, use energy that we can save. And that is a significant topic in effectiveness and efficiency of management. We will summarize 5 forces, 5 major sources of change. So we're talking about how managers today have to face the changes. We talked about change, that the world today is different than 50 years ago. And we will distinguish between managerial functions and the skills. So we talked about the functions. Remember page 14 in the book? Talks about the 8 functions. And we'll also talk about skills. So that will be introduced in this chapter. And we will identify those basic 8 managerial functions. Okay? And in this we will demonstrate knowledge of Wilson. Anyone have heard of Wilson? 3 managerial skill categories. Anyone have heard of Wilson? He's one of the top. Now in this, in management, we will learn about some people who are like very big top. Anyone have heard of any management guru? Any special name, famous people in management?
You need an author or a manager?
Anything. Anyone have heard?
Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs is one of the excellent managers.
Yes.
Creativity.
Carlos Ross.
Carlos Austin, one of the managers that have been noticed. Bill Gates. Donald Trump, maybe.
He is a manager.
Yeah, we're talking about recent. There are also some people who are theorists, like from the people who actually established. Anyone have heard of Frederick Taylor? There is a Frederick Taylor University. Frederick Taylor, he is the father of management. He talked about scientific management. How can you make management more scientific? So, as we talk, we'll talk about some of these people, so that you guys know who is Frederick Taylor. Taylor, he is the father of scientific management. And Taylor's idea was, if you're a manager, you need to measure. And he wanted to make management by science. And there is a lot of ideas that he came with. And we've got Wilson. He talked about this managerial skill category. We will explain how managers learn to manage, and we will talk about the challenging to miss small businesses, and we'll talk about entrepreneurs. Do you guys know what's an entrepreneur? Entrepreneur is the person who establishes a business, right? Any questions on this? 4 realities about managing today. It says here the only certain today is change. Speed, teamwork, flexibility are the orders of the day. Every day we need to watch out for speed and teamwork. How can we be flexible? Managers at all levels need to stay close to the customer. This is the reality. If you're a manager, you want to always watch out for the customer. Without continuous improvement and lifelong learning, there can be no true economic progress for individuals and organizations along. So the idea of continuous improvement. You guys know the idea of continuous improvement? It means every day you improve a little. So these are some of the realities of management today. You want to be a good manager, you want to understand those 4. Change, continuous improvement, staying close to the customer, and then you understand this idea, speed, team, flexibility. Management defined. Here is the definition of management. Management is the process of working with and through others to achieve organizational objectives in a changing environment. So here, if we want to manage this class, I have to work with and through others in order to achieve our goal, right? Which is, we all understand. So we got the logistics, so that we get the logistics, security, make sure we're safe, president, get the grades. You see, now we can work with and through other people. Do you think I can manage this class alone by myself? It's going to be difficult. That would not be management of the class. It would be more like something else. But if I want to do management, I have to work with and through other people. And management entails the effective and efficient use of limited resources. Here are the key aspects of management process. Let's see. You want to achieve your organization goals, right? How do you do that? You need to work with other people, and you also want to get the most out of your limited resources. I don't want to use a lot. Imagine if I hire 5 people or 3 people, 1 to be president, and 1 to be security, and 1 to be for logistics. It's going to be a lot of money, right? So maybe we can use our current resources, and we have some of the students to participate in this. Okay, so maybe that's maybe more better use of resources, and at the same time, we want to balance between effectiveness and efficiency. Are you guys okay with this?
It's not clear.
Within a changing environment.
Let's see, balancing. We will come back to balancing effective and efficiency. Working with and through others. It says management is a social process. Do you guys know what we mean by social process? Management is social. Management, you work with other people. So it's a social activity. You see? So you need to understand other people. You need to have communication skills with other people. You need to be able to understand other people's motivation, needs, wants. And it get things done by working with and through others. And there are some shortcomings for managers. There's problems with the interpersonal relationships. So if you have problems with interpersonal, that becomes more difficult management. If you fail to meet business objectives, you can't reach the goals, that becomes a problem. You need to build and lead a team. Do you guys know how to build a team? You need to find the right... Now I think we have an excellent team. We've got Nafa', we've got Muhammad, and we've got Adnan. Do you guys think it's a great team? And also, what's her name? Saad. See? So we've got this, 4 people taking a team. Do you think it's a good team? Did we build a good team? You see? And we also have the sponsors armed. So a team of 5, I think, can do an excellent job in managing this class. And we build it, how we choose them, and now we need to give them direction. Okay, so this is what you're expected to do. And then once we give them the direction, they go, right? And we want to have the inability to change and adapt during transition. So every time there's a transition, you need to be ready. You need to be flexible. Do you guys understand that word, flexible? Achieving organizational objectives. So here we're talking about an objective is a target that is strived for or attained. You guys know what we mean by an objective. What is the objective in this class?
To
get the material, right? Understand the concepts, be able to apply them in your workplace. So that's why we have the project, we have the presentation, and that's the goal. So let's focus on that goal. Challenging yet achievable. It's achievable objective. Provided guidance. We need effective and efficient actions. Individuals and organizations. Organizational objectives always require collective action. So we need to all work together to achieve it. And then organizational objectives serve as measuring sticks for performance. So we always want to measure how successful we are in achieving our objectives, right? Are you guys okay? Next, the idea of balancing effectiveness and efficiency. Here, what is effectiveness? It entails promptly achieving a stated organizational objective. Given the realities of a limited resources, effectiveness alone is not enough. So, what is the key word in all of this?
Achieving.
Achieve. Okay. Objective. Perfect. Efficiency. It entails balancing the amount of resources used to achieve an objective against what was actually accomplished. And the more favorable the ratio of benefit to cost, the greater the efficiency. So here we want it's the idea is you want to balance the resources. You want to get more benefits for whatever cost you pay, right? Let's take an example. How much time do you study outside of the class for this course?
We have
Every day, how much? 2 to 3 hours. Okay. Now, 2 hours every day, in addition to the class. Maybe this is a cost because 2 hours you spend studying. That's a cost to you. In 2 hours you can work and you get money. 2 hours you can rest and you get enjoyment. 2 hours you can do other things. But there's a benefit when you study 2 hours, and this benefit is how much accumulate knowledge that help you for the grades and for your self-development, right? So that's when you do the calculation. You're efficient if you are able to spend the 2 hours so that you get maximum benefits. Do you guys get this idea, efficient and effectiveness? Okay. And says here productivity improvement, a favorable ratio between inputs and outputs. Constant struggle to balance effectiveness and efficiency. So how do you measure your productivity in terms of, are you achieving your objectives? And are you using the minimum resources possible to get these objectives achieved? This is a scenario of two cases. We've got this case where if you focus a lot on effectiveness, you get the job done, but if you don't spend enough efficiency, limited resources are wasted. Too much emphasis on effectiveness. That's when you spend 10 hours every day studying, you see? So, because you want to pass the class. So you spend a lot of time. Maybe you find your limited resource, which is time, wasted. You see? Say you want to make something nice, you spend money on it to make it nice, you spend a lot of money because you're focusing on getting it well done. So here it becomes imbalanced. Another example here is the opposite. Some people, they focus a lot on efficiency.
It was the goal.
They lose. The job may not get done because the available resources was underutilized. Do you see? So that's when you too much focus on efficiency. So if you are a manager, you focus on effectiveness or efficiency? On the balance. The key word is the balance. Okay? And here's the balance when you get the job and you don't waste resources. And emphasizing on balance. Here talks about making the most of limited resources. We live in a world of scarcity. There are lopsided use of resources. Our planet is becoming increasingly crowded. 83% of the poor population in 2020 will live in poor, less developed countries. And managers are responsible for this. So all of the economic problems, who's responsible of them? Managers. So we want as a manager to cope with this environment. What do? We prepare for what? For these 5. 1, globalization. 2, evolution of quality. Every manager now, the top priority should be quality. Because we are no longer just doing things. Because customers, they choose what's quality. Environmentalism. We want to watch out for climate change. Is climate change a real threat?
Yes.
It's a real long-term threat, right? And an ethical reawakening. We're facing a lot of ethical issues now. And the internet is changing the world. If you're a manager and you're not familiar with what's going on the internet, you're too far, right? Now let's see what is happening now in administration. People are moving from bosses and supervisors and leaders. What do they have today? Bosses, more team players, facilitators, teachers, coaches, advocates, and sponsors. A manager today, they're less bossy. They're more friendly. Cultural orientation, they used to be very monoculture. All of us from Jabal Habashi. Now, We've got a lot of multicultural, multilingual, right? Many companies, they have people, they speak other languages, coming from different backgrounds. And quality. We've got here an afterthought or no thought, but now it's a forethought. You need to have a unifying theme. You want to make sure that you have quality, you follow ethics, and you need to be ahead of it, not afterwards. Okay? Power bases. Do you guys know what we mean by power bases? Where do you get your power from? In 50 years ago, people used to get their power from their authority. If they have a reward or a punishment. Do you see? So I want to prove my power, give you bonus. This is old. But now, people really move from that. Managers today, they use their knowledge and their relationships. So I need to establish the relationship. And from that relationship, I use the power. Do you see? And rewards. For example, why did he, offer I will be the president? He wants to build a relationship. Do you see? So now he gets the power from relationship more than the bonus or the. You see? Is that true, Nafa? Yeah.
That's his acceptance.
It's not. It's not very untrue. Do you see? But it's this is how people get the relation. If you look at your company, the people are powerful. What is their source of power? They've got good relationships. You see, the stronger relationships they have and knowledge they have, it give them the power. In the past, it used to be the authority, the position. You see, but now the position is not really the source of power. Or managers are moving from that. Managers now they focus more on their stronger relationships and knowledge. Primary organizational units used to be the individual, but now teams. Interpersonal dealing, it used to be competition and a win-lose. Manager in the past, they always look at things as a win-lose. If they win, I lose. If I lose, they win. But now it's more of a cooperation. It's a win-win situation. You see managers, it's a win-win. You win, I win. That's how we want to deal with each other. Not just, you win, I lose. No, it's a win-win. Okay? You win the bonus, I win your participation, and here it's a win-win situation. Learning, it used to be a periodical, preparatory, curriculum-driven. Now it's more of a continuous, lifelong, learning-driven. So in the past, it used to be, what degree you have. Now it's, what are you learning every day? Because every day is, your job change every day. In the past, problems were threat. Now, problems are not a threat. Problems are opportunities. I have a problem, that's an opportunity to learn and to improve. Do you see? And in the past, managers used to look at change and conflict area for resistance and avoidance. But now it is expected, seek, and channel. Do you guys understand this idea of conflict and change? What do you guys think if we're going to do change in your company? Is this good or bad?
It's good if you want that.
Depends on the change.
We're going to change. Maybe you lose your job. Maybe the things you used to do, you will not do anymore. How many people think it's great?
Again, it depends.
You guys are still from the old ages. You guys are old managers. Managers today, they know if we don't change, there's a trouble. We should change and we should expect it and anticipate it and seek it. Because change is inevitable in the workplace. Do you see? Do you agree? Anyone disagree with this?
So, if we talk about the change,
It says here, information. Oops. Information, it says restrict access, but now information is more shared. Are you guys okay with this? All right.